Hello, hello everyone. It is Nicole coming to you live on this sacred day, February 14th. Happy Valentine's, and this is day, oh gosh, this is day 12 of 366 days coming to you live. 366 days to share the message, be in devotion, be present, and to speak what's alive and present in this sacred womb revolution, day 12. And taking a moment out of this day and just taking a breath. There's a lot of energy going on today. There's a lot of presence, and I'm not sure how long this video is going to be. I feel it's going to be a little shorter, and I want to speak into embodiment. I'm actually going to be speaking on a panel tomorrow for an online event called Regal Roar, and it's hosted by, let me pull it up here so I make sure I say her name correctly and I don't mess it up, because that would really not be good. So Aliyah Metcalf. Her event is called Regal Roar, free 7-day online healing experience for the fempreneurs here to be heard. So it started today and it's going on till February 22nd. So a sacred day, sacred numbers, 2, 2, 2, 2. Or sorry, 2, 22, 22. And so it's finishing on that sacred day, and I'll post the link in the bottom if you'd like to register. The link is myregalroar.com, all in one, no spaces, myregalroar.com. And I will be joined in a panel with sacred sisters, and the whole 7-day event is going to have some amazing gems to tune into. So if you're interested in that, my mentor Sophia Tom's going to be on it, Laura Hollick. There are so many beautiful sisters sharing their wisdom, and I'm honored to be a part of it. So that's going to be happening tomorrow, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time if you'd like to tune in to the conversation that I will be a part of tomorrow. And that's all it is going to be about: sacred embodiment. And this is a really important piece, in the womb revolution, in presence and expression. If we think anatomically, right, your expression and the energy and frequency that you hold, I said anatomically, but I'm going energetically as well, right? They are connected to your womb space. I was just doing a little homework for myself and going into all parts of your body carry a specific frequency or emotional connection or spiritual connection, right? Or energetic connection. So as the pathway of womb liberation continues, the 28-day unleashing the power of the womb space journey, which is still happening. So if you still want to be a part of that, you can jump right on in. Um, we're looking into radical self-love this week, and it ties in so beautifully with this conversation of sacred embodiment, because when we think about radical self-love, right, it is in our bodies energetically. You know, today is all about the heart and Valentine love and all of that. But energetically, that comes from, you know, your heart space, but also your chest, your breast area, right? This is a space like the breasts are like a direct conduit to the heart, right? And so when you do breast massage, this stimulates this sensory place of receptivity, but the frequency and the magnetic energy of this love comes out. It pours out of you, right? The body has different energetic poles and receptivities through, you know, all over, right? So from your yoni, you absorb the energy. It pulls it in, right? It is a negative charge. So when you hear negative, you might think, oh, that's bad, that's not good. It's just like how in a battery you have plus and you have negative, right? A plus sign and a minus sign. It's just on how the 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 space either brings in energy or it comes out. And the heart, which is a space of um, emotionally and energetically, this is a space of unconditional love, compassion, right? And then, you know, the breasts are a part of that. So when you deepen into radical self-love and sacred embodiment, this is about energy. This is about expression, and this is about really connecting into um, your aligned self, your truth, right? Your breasts, your heart are connected to your womb space, because this this is a place, they're connected in the space of giving and receiving, right? The energetics from the heart, and from your breast directly link to your yoni portal, right? So that's why when there is physical sensation or stimulation, your yoni, all of that is going to get stimulated, right? Because of the direct connection. And so when we think about um, radical self-love, how much compassion do you have for yourself? Where is your relationship for giving and receiving and honoring your boundaries, honoring your expression, honoring your space of creativity and passions? And I mean, we're going to have a full moon coming up in on Wednesday, and this full moon in Leo is just like it's stoking the fire. It's a little bit interesting because it's a twofold. Um, because this full moon usually it's called the snow moon as well, and that's because the connection with the farmer's almanac. That because, you know, this upcoming moon, usually traditionally there is an uptake in snow, right? So there's a dual energy happening. You've got the fire from the Leo, charging up those passions, charging up those energies, the confidence, everything to just be like, it's got that lion energy. But then nature usually at this time brings in more snow. And when you have more snow, like this is like this is nature, one saying, winter isn't over. Two, this when it snows, this automatically reminds us to go internal, right? To go in, to get cozy, to listen, to journal, to have those warm soups, and really, that nourishment from within, right? So that's why I said it's a double energy, because on one hand you have this beautiful connection with the illumination of the full moon, and then it links with Leo. So it's very outward, and just, you know create, like any of those seeds or anything that you are creating, it's this is like percolation time. Write it down, make those plans. But at the same time, the snow is coming. This uh the season of winter, and the reminder of snow is to say, is to still be trust and listen, and to go in and really feel into that internal wisdom, right? Spring is coming, but slow your roll. If that makes sense. So in the space of embodiment and radical self-love, I mean, this is a daily practice, because there's going to be some days where being in the high of love and everything, it won't be there. And this is, it's like, how can we come back and remind ourselves again and again and again and again? How can we support yourself when you have those challenging moments to, baby step your way into that frequency of that love for yourself? I'll give you an example. I really did, I had I would say a battle with self-confidence growing up, for a couple of reasons. One, my face was just covered in acne, and I I tried everything under the sun. Proactive was not around yet. And by the time Proactive came, I was taking Accutane, and my skin started to clear up. But I had really my self-esteem towards my looks, and uh, loving myself, were not that. There weren't. It wasn't that great. I'd have some moments where I'd be like, "Hey, I'm feeling myself," but I wasn't that kid. You know, I I wanted to look like the people on the magazines. I was obsessed with, you know, the magazines, the fitness magazines. I was an athlete and a dancer. Well, that's all about an athlete, but I was doing dance, and I was also running track and field, right? Throughout, last bit of elementary all the way through junior high and high school. Those were my things. And so I was obsessed with like Shape magazine, Muscle and Fitness, and Vogue, and In Style, all those magazines that showed everybody all airbrushed and looking nice, right? I wanted that look for myself. Um, and so there was this striving of to look like something that was outside of myself. And there wasn't that inner There was and there wasn't. You know, the inner hat was more like this powerful, aggressive, like, yeah, but it was more on a defense level, because anybody that tried to, you know, make fun of me or tried to knock me down, you know, the defense level would kick in and I would be like, right? I wasn't beating anybody up, but I just channeled that energy to defend myself, you know. So it wasn't a, you know, embodiment of strength, of power and knowing. It was just like, I'm going to protect myself so much that I built a wall, you know, to anybody who would try. So I didn't feel the debilitating low self-esteem feelings that I would feel when someone did make fun of me or compare me to a figure that was not so kind. You know, there was, outside of my home, you know, I'd be subjected to all the other opinions. Inside of my home, I was the greatest thing on earth. Like, I was the most beautiful person ever, right? Because my parents would be like, you know what, you're a beautiful woman, you're a beautiful girl, have confidence in yourself, stand up for yourself. You know, that was the rhetoric at home, and I'm grateful for that. However, that was not the rhetoric when I left the home, because there were many people telling me the exact opposite. And to, and I did my best not to let that, you know, penetrate like my being. But I'm human. And at times it really did suck. It hurt. I didn't have the embodiment and confidence to the degree that I have now. And what helped me through that is that I was attracted to words. So if I saw words on a magazine, or I would write, um, that would be like my inspiration to, you know, kind of pick me up and keep going and to remember, right? We always get these remembrance codes, you know, sometimes in the most random places. And for me at that time, it was seeing words. So, and that kind of carries through today, because in my home there are like sayings and words, and you know, peppered throughout my home. Like even on my desk right now, I have a sticker that I put on my speaker. It says "Keep rising," right? And so I'd have all these empowering words, you know, in my space to help remind me, remind me that even though, you know, I can't change other opinions, to remind me that there is love there for myself within me, and I needed those reminders. And it's on beautiful platforms like this, and you know, supportive community, mentorship, um, can really help to support and lift you when you need that reminder to come back into, um, remembering your presence is gold, remembering that your expression is valued and needed, remembering that you are a creation of the divine, God, Goddess. This all comes through radical self-love. This all comes through sacred embodiment. Because as you get supported and lifted, and it, you know, it just starts to seep in. Words were a reminder for me And then when I chose to dance professionally, um, you know, that became an outlet for me to really express and gain my confidence. And, you know, dance is an interesting thing about what it is to embody, because we're embodying, you know, shapes and emotions and colors and, you know, all those things to communicate on stage, where the body is embodying all of that to perform um, a creation that the choreographer choreographed. And, you know, this was one of my outlets where I started to understand what it is to embody this presence that all of us have. You have it, I have it, we have it. And to own what that fully is for yourself. So I thought this was going to be a short video, and it's now 20 minutes. Yeah, that's what happens. Open the floodgates, and here we are. So I think I'm going to end that today. Like I said, tomorrow I will be on a panel talking more about sacred embodiment. Um, uh, the event is called Regal Roar, and I'll put the link in the comments. It's myregalroar.com, and it's a free 7-day event with panels, with speakers, with just very juicy content. Um, yeah, amazing. Yeah, and I'm on tomorrow at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So you can check that out if you desire, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye.